I'd like to start off telling you guys a bit of my testimony and a little bit about myself. I did mention that I came from a large family, so I have 4 other siblings and I'm the middle child, which is alright, I like it. I've grown up in church my entire life, and their church to be specific, and but just this 2017 I went to a Jesus conference, and that was when I actually committed my life to the Lord. I've grown up in church and I've always believed it, but 2017 was the year that I was like, okay, I'm taking this on for myself. I'm not going to live off my parents' relationship with the Lord. This is going to be my life's goal is to know Jesus, to make him known, and to be known by him.
Amen.
And Jesus 17 was the name of the conference, Jesus 17. I got totally messed up, as I like to say. The Lord just made himself real to me. I actually got pulled up on the stage, and I got so rocked by the presence of God. He revealed to me that he was more powerful than any other being. He was God. And then he revealed that he loved me in that moment, and I just wept and wept and wept for an hour, and then I got hit with the joy, and that was really funny. But as I've grown, I've realized that just because you go to church doesn't mean you love Jesus. I felt I was going through the motions a lot of going to Sunday church, and then just living my life how I wanted to. Not necessarily bad, but I wasn't pursuing God for all that he is. And I realized that you can copy people's message and quote all the scripture, but without the Jesus of the Bible, you'll be dead inside. And that's what I ended up being. I was just I got caught up in, as Apostle John said earlier, that my generation, a lot of us are known for having anxiety, fear, just stress, and being suicidal. And I was there, and it was just because I wasn't pursuing God. I was just going through the motions. And I realized the Lord gave me the scripture of Isaiah 53. I like to share it with you because this brought me out of probably one of the darkest places that I've been in my life, that we need to actually pursue God and value a relationship with him, because that's what really matters. Is we can go through the motions all we want. We can, as I've heard, we can go into McDonald's. Doesn't mean we're going to become a burger. Just because you go to church doesn't mean we're a Christian, or doesn't mean that we're in love with Jesus. Yeah. I don't want, when somebody says to me, how are you doing? I don't want to just be oh yeah, I'm good. I want to be I'm in love with Jesus. That's how I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm on fire. That's how I'm doing. I don't want to be just average. Average is boring. And average is a lot of times depressing too. Because in this world, average is not good. And I've realized that I want to be on fire. I don't want to be okay with just going day to day without Jesus. I don't want to be just living life like a normal teenager. And I feel like especially my generation, but everybody can relate to this, that we go day to day searching for something more, something to help with the stress, anxiety, worry, the fear, And a lot of times we'll fill it with TV, movies, sports, chocolate. I've been known to fill it with chocolate when I get stressed. Eat a lot of chocolate. But what we really need is just Jesus, just to spend time with him. And he's the answer to everything. That he has to be everything, not because he's lofty or he's proud and he's like, oh, I have to be everything to you. But it's because he knows his worth. He knows that only he fulfills the soul. Only he will fill that hole inside of us. And like, we search and we search and search, and the whole world is searching for something, and it's Jesus. He's the only one that can bring us peace. It says in Isaiah 53, if you want to turn there. I'm going to read it anyway, but it says, this is one of my favorite passages of Scripture, because it talks about the suffering of Jesus. And in verse 4, it says, surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. That the chastisement for our peace was upon him. So we don't have to go day to day living with stress, with anxiety, with worry. Worry's a big one. With fear of like not knowing the future, because it says he was tortured in his mind when he went on that cross, so we could claim the peace, so that we could have peace. And he's like, I feel like just sometimes he says to us, he's just like, give me my stuff back. And we're just like, what do you mean? And he's like, all the stuff that I died to take away from you, all the worry, the stress, the fear, the sickness, all the stuff that we take on, he's like, give me my stuff back. You don't, that's not yours to take on. That's mine. I took that on. I'm here to give you my peace, to give you my joy, to give you just rest.
Yes.
And hold on, where was I? A lot of times we come to Jesus or we read our Bibles to just be right. But he's saying, just come to me for me. Come to me and let me give you rest. We don't have to strive in his presence. That's been it's hard because you just want to be like, okay, what do I have to do? So I have to please God. And even today, I'm like, Lord, I want to please you in what I'm going to share. I want you to be proud of me. And he just says, I'm already proud of you. And I was just like, that's right. Why am I worried? Because he's already proud of us. There's a quote, I don't remember who it's by, but it says, don't perform or strive for his attention because you already have it. And I love that. I'm going to say it again. Don't perform or strive for his attention because you already have it. When we go to the secret place, we don't have to work ourselves up to pray or to just please God or get his attention, because he's already right there waiting for you, actually, to get into his presence. And I feel like once we get the revelation that he's not like when you're in love with him, he goes from being a far off being that you call God to your best friend. Like, I had to go through that where when I was going through a really stressful time with just family life, with just life in general, I would go out to the car, because I had to share a room, so I didn't really have privacy. So I'd go out to the car, and
sisters.
Yep. And I would just cry my eyes out. I would just bawl and bawl and bawl. And I would just be like, God, I need you to help me. I need you to help me. and I would just unload on him. And it's not like he's scared of our problems. Right. He's like, come to me, and I will give you rest. And it would spend like at least an hour, and half of it was just me unloading, and then the other half was him bringing all the wisdom and the answers to my problems, a lot of times correction, because I wasn't always right, and as much as I'd like to be. And he wants to just love on us, and to just be with us. Like, he wants to give us rest. But we have to get into the secret place to do that. Like, we have to actually go to him. It says, I love this, because he says boldly, Hebrews 4:16 says, boldly approach the throne of grace in the time of need. When do we not need Jesus? And I always think that why don't we just live in his presence? I'm going to touch on that a little bit tomorrow, about just living in his presence, because he wants to be involved in our lives. He wants us to be right with us at all times, and we're supposed to come. He wants to reveal himself as the Father to us, and especially it's a little bit harder, I feel like, because he has to reveal himself. You have to get into the secret place, have him reveal himself to you, and then you can see him as your best friend. You can see him as your bridegroom lover. You could see him as a father. And but we have to pursue him, and not just, he doesn't want us just going through the motions. Even as Christians, we shouldn't stop seeking the Lord just because we've given him our lives. Giving him our lives means giving him our time as well. And Todd White always says that his mission is to lead Christians back to Christ. I think that's we laugh. I laugh at that, but then I'm like, oh, get convicted right there. It's true. And yeah, I just encourage you guys that to just let him give him his stuff back, and just receive his rest and his peace, and let him minister to you, because that's what he really wants. He wants a relationship. And that's all I have for today. I have more tomorrow.